I'm gonna make Sonia's bread.
Sonia's bread.
I like to use yeast usually out the jar, but we couldn't always get the jar, so we use these packs. You have to measure these packs into a tablespoon because there aren't always exactly a tablespoon in this pack. So I put a tablespoon of yeast into the bottom of a bowl, and I've got a cup of warm water. There's some sort of degree it's supposed to be at. I can't really remember what it is. You can look it up, and once you feel it once, you won't forget. It's kind of like what you would put a baby in for a bath.
That's my baby bath bread.
So I pour the water in and whisk the yeast in with it. The idea behind the warm water is that you want to activate the yeast to make it come alive, but you don't want to kill it by making the water too hot.
Can you taste this and tell me if this is right?
No. I mean, you can still eat it.
Yeah?
Yeah.
Okay.
I like them softer than that.
Me too. But I'm blending it up.
Okay. So I just kept mixing this until the yeast dissolves. And it's going to take 2 tablespoons of extra virgin olive oil. Just whatever kind of olive oil you like. This is a richer kind of olive oil, but if you like a lighter flavor, that's really kind of up to you. I like to put the olive oil in first because it almost kind of coats the spoon, because we're also going to put 2 tablespoons of honey in, and it makes the honey come out of the spoon really easy.
That is so smart. So we're good to go for this?
Okay, now we're gonna whisk that together, and the yeast that we just woke up is gonna start eating that honey, the sugar in the honey. So we woke it up and now we're feeding it.
Oh my god, and now we're gonna cook it and kill it. Like, hey, get up! Eat this! Oh no!
I already have pre-measured out about 2 2/3 cups of flour, and we're gonna apply this into here in 2 to 3 times instead of just shoving it all in at once. I like to do it in 2 times just because it's a little faster that way. The first round I use the whisk, and I blend it until all of the flour is wet and the mixture is no longer lumpy. And then I kind of beat this thing out like that and stick it into my cup. And then I put the second half in here and add a teaspoon of salt, which I don't actually measure. I just kind of put in my hand like that. And at this point, instead of using the whisk, which it'll start to get stuck in the whisk and make a mess, I start to use one of these little kitchen scraper spatulas. And I start to just sort of work it all together. And it's going to make your bread ball. What I'm trying to do is to get all those wet spots to sort of get coated with flour, so that way when I stick my hand into it, my hand won't get sticky with dough. And now it kind of looks like a good time to get my hand in there.
What are you
So I'm just gonna start beating it down like that. If you feels like it's sticky and coming off onto your hand like that, I take a little more flour and put it on top just to dust it. And push it down with my hand. Flip it over, dust the other side, and do it again. And then you want to start just folding it in on itself like this. Until you feel like it's good and sort of mixed up. And you have a good dough ball. And your dough ball, you want to be kind of sticky, like tacky, but not so sticky that it comes apart onto your hands. And we're going to take this dough ball and I'm going to take another bowl and lightly flour the bottom of that bowl, stick it in the bowl, and get either a paper towel or just a moistened cloth deal here and put it on top like that. And then you're going to let this sit like this for 10 to 15 minutes and then we'll play with it from there. Okay, what I did with my 10 minutes while this guy was doing his first rise was I made another one, because I usually make 2 at a time. So I'm going to swap these out. This guy is going to undergo what is called the punch down after the first rise. Look, I'm not like a bread person. I don't bake a lot and all that kind of stuff. And I hope you realize that if you're like in a different altitude, that all this stuff might be completely wrong. But it works for me. This is just Sonia's bread. Pretty much I'm just remixing it into itself. Sugar makes yeast gassy. So when they're letting their gas go, that's what makes the bread rise. I'm gonna kind of make it into somewhat of a pan shape or bread shape at this point. I've already greased a couple of bread pans. We were using that spray olive oil, but it's difficult to find the kind that doesn't have soy in it, actually. So what I did was I just took some of this coconut oil and I rubbed it on the pan with my fingers. And then I'm going to put the loaf in there. And Sonia likes it when it's a good full sort of loaf that has corners and everything and is pretty. She likes it pretty. So we have to make sure that that kind of flattens out and takes up a lot of space. It still has like openings in the corners there, but those will fill up once the bread rises. This usually takes like 30 minutes or so. And usually when it starts to get about even with the top of here, I'll go ahead and preheat the oven at that point to 350 degrees. And by the time the oven's done preheating, it's got a pretty little rise on it. And so you pretty much kind of look at it, it's like, oh, okay, that looks like bread that you get at the store. And so that's the point. You stick it in the oven. So I'm going to put this one to the side so it can rise. Second rise. This one's going to do its first rise. I'm going to do the same thing with it. And we'll go from there. Alright, just about at this point right here, we're going to go ahead and turn the oven on to 350. Make sure there's no pans in there. Alright, now our oven is preheated to 350 degrees.
Vanilla White.
We're going to go on and put them in.
Ready?
and try not to rattle them around too much. Just one next to each other. We're gonna put it on for 25 minutes. You're to bake it between 20 and 25 minutes, but we do 25 because we like it good and toasted.
Toasty brown.
Yay.
I always forget. Alright, Anne went to bed, so you got me. That's the bread. I'm about to pull it out. I'm gonna put it over here so that you can maybe see what I'm about to do. We'll work it out together. If you do a lot of baking, I swear to you, or cooking, these are the best things ever. They are thermal gloves. You can just grab stuff. These are strictly for cooking. They are not dirty. They are not used outside. They're not used for anything else. And they make everything so much easier. I'm telling you, like, just to be able to grab, not worry about which part you grab on, not worry about any of that is awesome. Amber bought them for me and I love them. I use them all the time. I have not burned myself once since I've had them. Now, we're gonna shake this up real good. I've never, ooh, you hear that? It's starting to, you hear that? It means it's bouncing out. This is actually easier to do because I have these gloves and I don't have to worry about how I'm grabbing stuff. Boom. Got a little bit of a squish right there. That's okay. Now we're gonna shake this one up. Oh, she's ready already. So, get that out. Let those cool. I let them cool just long enough to stick them into their bag. Oh, look. These guys are still hot. I have these bags for them. Hold on a second, I'll show you. They are just, these are the Great Value brand, but they're twist tie bags. They come with the twist ties. They're nice, big plastic. You know, you can buy specialized bread bags. They're extremely expensive, but these are not. And once it's cool, I throw them both in here, and I'm actually going to refrigerate it and then slice it and then keep them in the refrigerator. I was keeping them in the freezer, but they get hard to pull apart each slice, so the refrigerator works just fine, and I usually toast them anyway. This bread is amazing for toasting or for grilled cheese. Trust me, you'll never ever eat anything else until you run out of bread. So there you go. I have a new system, and it's a paper that I printed, and I'm really excited about it. And I want to show it to you, but it's got a spoiler on it, so I'm gonna keep it kind of a secret until a little later in the day. Or maybe not. Maybe I am. I'm gonna show it to you, but not all of it. It's a little organizational paper, and you have the day. I added the date, and you can like plan your meals, and there's a place for notes, and there's my water and exercise box. Look at me, I'm covered in paisley hair from loving the dog. Okay, actually here's a blank one. We're pretty much blank. I know it's gonna be for Friday. I know I'm gonna weigh in, so I kind of added that, but there it is. You have a place for priorities and tasks, menu, exercise, you know, your morning, your whole day, like kind of broken down, calls, errands, chores, like all of that. So I'm really excited. Plenty of dishes again. My wife made bread. I made banana ice cream. That's what happens. I didn't feel like doing them last night, so I'm paying the price. I'm paying the piper. We're gonna go ahead and make breakfast. And this is the coolest thing about eating fresh fruits and veggies is that this, what I'm about to do, is cooking breakfast. Oh yeah. I mean, that's so easy. And it totally counts. So, oh my gosh, it smells amazing. I am gonna cut this up more, and I'm gonna do some research on watermelon seeds because I just recently found out you could eat cantaloupe seeds and that they're full of protein. So I'm gonna see if there's any benefit to them, and if there is, We're gonna keep those bad boys. So I'm having my first iced coffee and my breakfast, and I'm really excited because it's gonna be so good. Oh my god, I just flipped it all over the counter. That tastes like summer. Like, so good. Is there a cat on the counter?
Yes.
So I was just feeling really nappy and I took a nap because that's the beauty of life. Yeah, so I took a nap after feeling nappy and now I feel very awake. I was having a kind of good dream though. It was kind of neat. Yeah, she went under my arm. Anyway, I am about to do dishes. I really don't want to. Like, I'm dreading it. Just a bunch of big stuff, which means it's gonna like pile up, whatever. Gonna get some dishes done because I want to eat lunch. But before I eat lunch, I want to do dishes. Oh, there's actually a whole lot I want to get done today, and I'm not getting anything done. And it is almost 2 o'clock. It's 1:43. Not acceptable. So I've got to get moving. Water. My second 16-ounce glass. So a note on water, okay? This is my water. It smells like water. I know that sounds funny, but that's true. Okay, what I was going to say was we have our own well here. We are on well water. We are not on municipal water. And at first it really freaked me out. Like, I'm like, oh my god. But we got all the tests back. It's good water. We're going to have our tests done annually. So that's all fantastic. But what I was going to say was, also, by the way, just side note, annual tests I think is $100 to $220 depending on how in depth you get and what company you go with. Water was $40 a month where we were coming from, and it was expected to go up. So $40 a month. So $400, $480 a year. So it's actually cheaper. And okay, the other day, dogs are barking. They're outside. Come in, guys. The other day, I was drinking water. I was like, oh, the water tastes weird. It doesn't taste fresh. It tastes so strange, right? And then I realized it was bottled water because there's a place called Kentwood not too far from here that bottles water. And I was drinking that and it kind of tasted yucky because I'm used to our water, which tastes so clean and so bright. It's like a totally different kind of water. I can't even explain it. And now that it's getting cooler here, the water just comes out the faucet like so cold. It's amazing. I'm happy. I'm happy. Now this here is all part of personal preference. This has been properly chilled. It's pretty hard, which is nice because it's going to make it easier to chop. I have this Our Daily bread slicer. Makes them all about a little bit like a 1/2 inch wide. That works out to be around 70 to 80 calories a slice. That's what I know about this bread recipe and this slicer. I'm going to go ahead and slice the entire thing. I use this kind of a knife. And the key is to not come all the way out and back in because you will catch that. It is to put it down and kind of go like that all the way through. This is all, like I said, from all my research, personal preference, and this is the system that works for me. It's going to cut about half of it, then I take it out, put it into the bag, and then I do the other half. I had actually kind of cut mine crooked and wound up with one big fat piece in the middle. So I'm using that for lunch today, and this is going in the fridge. So